Welcome to Pastopia, where we rip open the pages of history to uncover the raw, unrelenting stories that shaped our world. Picture yourself as a soldier in the Persian Empire for 80 BC. You're part of a colossal army, hundreds of thousands strong, marching under the banner of King Xerxes, the ruler of the largest empire the world has ever seen. Your armor gleams with gold. Your cavalry thunders across the plains, and victory feels like a foregone conclusion. Then you hear the rumors. A tiny force of 300 Spartan warriors, led by King Leonidas, stands in your way at a narrow mountain pass called Thermopylae. 300 men against an empire? You laugh until you face them. These aren't just soldiers. They're a living nightmare, forged in a crucible of brutal training, unbreakable discipline, and a culture that worships war above all else. Why did it suck so bad to fight the Spartan warriors? Why were they the Persian Empire's worst nightmare? Buckle up, because we're diving into the blood-soaked, spear-sharpened world of Sparta to find out. Let's start with the heart of what made Spartans so terrifying: their society. Sparta wasn't like other Greek city-states. Athens might have been debating philosophy or building temples, but Sparta was a military machine built from the ground up to produce warriors. Nestled in the Peloponnese Peninsula, Sparta rose around the 8th century BC, conquering the neighboring region of Messenia and enslaving its people as helots. These helots worked the fields, freeing every male Spartan to dedicate his life to one thing: war. From birth, Spartan boys were destined for battle. Weak or deformed infants were left on Mount Taygetus to die, a brutal eugenics policy to ensure only the strongest survived. By age 7, boys were torn from their families and thrown into the Agoge, Sparta's grueling training system. Imagine a childhood with no beds, no shoes, just one cloak a year, and a diet so sparse it included a foul broth of pig's blood, barley, and vinegar. Boys were starved to teach resilience, encouraged to steal food to survive, but whipped if caught, honing cunning and stealth. They fought each other in wrestling pits, endured public floggings at festivals to prove pain tolerance, and learned to kill without hesitation. This wasn't education. It was survival of the fiercest. By age 12, Spartan boys were hardened, training with weapons and mastering the Phalanx, Sparta's signature battle formation. At 20, they became full hoplites, professional soldiers equipped with bronze gear, a heavy helmet that muffled sound and limited vision, a 15-pound round shield called a hoplon, an 8-foot dory spear for thrusting, and a short Xiphos sword for close combat. Unlike other Greeks, Spartans didn't farm or trade. They drilled daily, marching in lockstep, singing war hymns to keep rhythm. They could cover 20 miles a day in full armor, a feat that exhausted even the fittest enemies. Their laconic speech, short, sharp, and witty, came from this culture of discipline. When a Persian envoy demanded Sparta surrender its weapons before Thermopylae, Leonidas' reply was a legendary gut punch. Molon, Labe, come and take them. That's not just bravado. It's a mindset that terrified opponents before the first spear flew. Now, let's put you in the boots of a Persian soldier facing these guys. The Persian Empire under Xerxes was a juggernaut, stretching from India to Egypt, with a population of millions and an army drawn from dozens of cultures: Median spearmen, Scythian horse archers, and elite Immortals clad in gold-scale armor. Persia's strategy was overwhelming force. Flood the battlefield with numbers, use cavalry to outmaneuver, and crush resistance through sheer scale. Herodotus, the Greek historian, claimed Xerxes brought 100,000 to 300,000 men to invade Greece in 480 BC. Modern estimates suggest 70,000 to 120,000. Still a colossal force. Against this, Sparta sent just 300 hoplites to Thermopylae, joined by about 7,000 allies, including 700 Thespians and 400 Thebans. The pass was narrow, flanked by cliffs and sea, perfect for a small, disciplined force to hold. But why were these 300 Spartans the stuff of Persian nightmares? Thermopylae is the key. In August 480 BC, Xerxes' army reached the Hot Gates, A choke point where the pass was just 15 to 20 meters wide. The Spartans, led by Leonidas, formed a phalanx, a wall of interlocking shields, spears protruding like a porcupine's quills. Day 1. Persian infantry charged, expecting to sweep the Greeks aside. Instead, they hit a meat grinder. The Spartan phalanx held firm, spears thrusting in unison, cutting down wave after wave. Persians fought as individuals or loose units. Spartans move as one, their shields overlapping, each man protecting the one beside him. The Othismos, the push of shields, crushed Persian front lines, forcing them to climb over their own dead. Xerxes sent his Immortals, his best troops, expecting a breakthrough. They failed. Herodotus says the Spartans rotated fresh ranks to stay rested, while Persians tripped over bodies. Spartans even feigned retreats, luring Persians into traps, then wheeled around to slaughter them. By day's end, thousands of Persians lay dead, with minimal Greek losses. Day 2 brought more of the same. Xerxes threw heavier assaults, including cavalry, but the narrow pass neutralized their horses. Spartan spears snapped, so they used broken shafts as javelins or drew swords for close kills. Their helmets and shields deflected Persian arrows, which were designed for range, not piercing bronze. The Spartans' discipline was eerie. They combed their long hair before battle, a ritual to look glorious in death, unnerving Persians who valued life and luxury. By nightfall, Xerxes was desperate. Then came the betrayal. Ephialtes, a local Greek, showed the Persians a mountain path to flank the pass. Leonidas learned of it by day 3. He dismissed most allies to save him for future battles, keeping his 300 Spartans, 700 Thespians, and some Thebans. They made their last stand in the pass's narrowest point, fighting to the death to delay the Persians. Leonidas fell, but his men fought over his body, killing scores before being overwhelmed. The delay bought time for Greece to rally, setting the stage for later victories. Why did this suck so bad for Persians? First, the phalanx was a death trap. Its tight formation turned a narrow pass into a kill zone. A Persian soldier facing it saw a wall of bronze, with spear points jabbing from multiple angles. If he got past the spears, a Xipho's sword slashed his throat. Second, Spartan training made them superhuman. They didn't flinch under arrow barrages or break when flanked. Wounded Spartans fought on, using anything as a weapon: rocks, fists, teeth. Third, the terrain was Sparta's ally. Thermopylae's cliffs and sea left no room for Persian numbers or cavalry to maneuver. Persia's strength was mobility. Spartans forced a slugfest where discipline trumped numbers. Fourth, psychological terror. Spartans didn't just fight, they intimidated. Their laconic taunts, calm grooming before death, and refusal to retreat shook Persian morale. Herodotus notes Persians called them lions or worse, fearing their ferocity. Thermopylae wasn't the only time Spartans ruined Persian days. In 479 BC at Plataea, a Spartan-led Greek army of about 40,000 faced a Persian remnant under Mardonius, maybe 50,000 strong. The Spartans, under Pausanias, held the center. Their phalanx shattered Persian lines, killing Mardonius and routing his army. Pausanias outmaneuvered Persian cavalry by holding high ground, then charged when gaps appeared. The same year, at Mycale, Spartans stormed Persian ships beached on the Ionian coast, burning the fleet and ending Persia's naval threat. These battles showed Sparta's versatility: phalanx dominance on land, aggressive assaults at sea. Persians learned Spartans weren't just defenders. They could strike like lightning. Let's dig deeper into why Spartans were such a nightmare. Their culture was war itself. Unlike Persians, who were conscripts from conquered lands, Spartans were born for battle. Their religion glorified Ares, god of war, over gentler deities like Athena. Dying in battle was the ultimate honor. Surviving a defeat was shame. Cowards were ostracized, forced to wear women's clothes or shave half their beards. This bred a mindset where death was preferable to retreat. Persians, loyal to Xerxes out of fear or duty, couldn't match that fanaticism. A Persian soldier fought for empire. A Spartan fought for glory and his brothers. Spartan gear gave them an edge too. Their bronze hoplon shields were heavier but sturdier than Persian wicker ones, deflecting arrows and blades. The dory spear's long reach outranged Persian javelins, and the Xiphos was perfect for tight, bloody melees. Spartan helmets, though vision limiting, protected better than Persian felt caps. Their armor was lighter than it looked, letting them move fast while staying shielded. Persians, with lighter gear for mobility, were cut down in close combat. Sparta's daily drills ensured every hoplite could fight blind, deaf, or wounded, reacting on instinct honed over decades. Then there's the Agoge psychological impact. Spartan boys endured pain rituals, like the Diamastagosis festival, where youths were whipped until bloody to show endurance. They learned to suppress fear, making them seem inhuman on the battlefield. Herodotus tells of a Persian scout at Thermopylae, stunned to see Spartans wrestling and grooming casually under arrow fire. This wasn't bravado, it was conditioning. Spartans didn't just train their bodies, they trained their minds to see war as home. Spartan women played a role too. Unlike most ancient societies, Spartan women trained physically, running and wrestling to bear strong children. They were fierce, raising sons to die bravely. When a warrior left for battle, his mother or wife might say, "Come back with your shield or on it," meaning return victorious or dead but never a coward. Queen Gorgo, Leonidas' wife, was a legend herself. When asked why Spartan women had such influence, she replied, "Because we birth men." That attitude fueled Sparta's warrior ethos, making every hoplite a product of a culture that lived for war. But it wasn't just raw power. Spartans were tactically brilliant. Their phalanx wasn't static. It could pivot, feign retreats, or split to trap enemies. At Thermopylae, they used fake withdrawals to lure Persians into ambushes. At Plataea, Pausanias baited Mardonius into attacking uphill, then counterattack when Persian lines stretched thin. Spartans also used psychological warfare. Their red cloaks and lambda-emblazoned shields were iconic, signaling death to enemies. Their war chants, like the Paean to Apollo, echoed before battle, chilling foes. Persians, used to intimidating with numbers, found themselves outplayed by Sparta's mind games. Why else did it suck? Logistics and morale. Persia's massive army needed vast supplies. Food, water, fodder for horses, stretched across hostile Greece. Spartans, lean and local, lived off minimal rations. Their black broth, infamous but effective. Persian troops from distant satrapies were often reluctant, fighting far from home. Spartans fought on their doorstep, defending their way of life. The helot system, though cruel, gave Spartans endless time to train, while Persian soldiers juggled civilian lives. This professionalism let Spartans outlast enemies in prolonged engagements. Of course, Spartans weren't invincible. Their rigidity had flaws. At Leuctra in 371 BC, Thebes defeated Sparta by targeting phalanx flanks with mobile cavalry, something Persians never mastered. Sparta's reliance on helots backfired. Revolts drained resources. Their low birth rate, due to strict marriage rules and eugenics, shrank their warrior class over time. By the 4th century BC, Sparta's power faded, overtaken by Thebes and later Macedon. But in the Persian Wars, they were unstoppable. Thermopylae's 300 didn't win the war, but their sacrifice galvanized Greece, leading to victories at Salamis, Plataea, and Mycale. The Persian invasion collapsed, and Sparta's legend was born. Let's zoom out. Why were Spartans the Persian Empire's worst nightmare? It wasn't just their spears or shields. It was their entire existence. Training from birth, living for war, embracing death. The Agoge made them fearless. The Phalanx made them unbreakable. Their culture made them relentless. Persians fought for conquest. Spartans fought for Sparta. At Thermopylae, they turned a narrow pass into a slaughterhouse. At Plataea and Mycale, they proved they could dominate open fields and beaches too. The Persian Empire, with all its wealth and numbers, couldn't crush a city-state of a few thousand warriors. That's the power of Sparta. The legacy of the Spartans lives on. Their stand at Thermopylae inspired poets, historians, and warriors for centuries. It showed that discipline, courage, and strategy could defy empires. It's a reminder that even the mightiest forces, Xerxes' millions, can falter against a few who refuse to break. The Spartans weren't just warriors. They were a warning to empires. Underestimate the determined and you'll pay in blood. Thanks for joining me on this epic dive into the Spartan nightmare with Pastopia. If you felt the chill of facing those 300 at Thermopylae, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe for more history that hits hard. Drop a comment below. Could you survive the Agoge, or would you rather face the Persians? Let me know what historical nightmare you want us to explore next. Until then, keep marching to the past with Pastopia, and I'll see you in the next video.